Hey there, it's Pomegranate. I'm making this one's going to be a little bit of a long video, but this video today is going to be specifically about digital discrimination and the deplatforming that sex workers have been dealing with for years. For years, it's been an issue, but no one is listening to us. And I'm not seeing anyone besides organizations that support us and actual sex workers being victimized by Silicon Valley conglomerates and big tech chuds. Nobody is talking about what is being done to us. No one is talking about the digital discrimination being done to sex workers. We are being wiped away from the internet through the years in very gentle, oppressive, just mediocre ways, and it's getting worse. And again, nobody listens to sex workers. So, as someone that is constantly being victimized by Silicon Valley, I would love to talk about my experiences and my issues and things that are going on with me and my community as a sex worker who has been unable to work safely online. Isn't that fucked up? I think it's time that we talk about it. Because again, celebrities who want to look like us and hustle like us and fuck like us and use the sex work aesthetic definitely are not talking about the discrimination that actual sex workers are dealing with. Celebrities that used to be sex workers and are now in the public eye are definitely not talking about the discrimination or the bad legislation or the moral panic being stacked up against us. Super weird. The radical feminists who insist that they care about us while also talking over us and making sure that we don't have a voice in legislation or in our own communities definitely is not talking about the digital discrimination that sex workers are dealing with. And golly gee, I've been tweeting at these platforms. I've been tweeting at my legislators for years. Since like 2017, I've been hitting them up. Fucking crickets. Bringing it to YouTube, bringing it to my other platforms, because what else is there to do? I'm on my 11th, it's really my 14th, but we'll get into that, Instagram. It's my 4th Facebook. It's my 3rd Tinder. It's my 8th Snapchat. Don't even ask me how many TikToks I've run through. All because I am a sex worker and all because these platforms are conflating human trafficking with sex work. They are allowing Sesta Fosta to be worked into their algorithms, which is in turn discriminating against us. Sex workers are not the only one dealing with deplatforming and digital discrimination online, but there are lawsuits and at least people being heard when they are bringing up that discrimination is being literally built into algorithms. There have been lawsuits. Do I feel like pasting anything here? Maybe I do. Sex workers, because there is stigma around our work and there is stigma around us, we are not heard, we are not catered to, we are seen as criminals, and we are not allowed to use platforms because we violate terms of service. As adult content creators, we violate terms of service simply for not only just existing, but trying to build community, trying to build safe work practices, and trying to just maintain financial stability and mobility and a lifestyle. It has been determined that we are not allowed to use and operate on social media. We have been slowly being scraped away for years, and for some fucked up reason, I know, like I keep saying for some fucked up reason, I get it. I understand that civilians don't get it, and because civilians don't get it, that's why we're fucking here. For some reason, this has been allowed to perpetuate. I can't talk about algorithms and internet exploitation, or I'm sorry, internet discrimination until I talk about Sesta Fosta. Pre-Sesta Fosta, I have videos on my YouTube about this, and other people have made content about the dangers of Sesta Fosta. In the sex work community, we call it Sesta Fosta because it's a stop online human trafficking and the fight online human trafficking. They are bills designed to it is holding social media platforms accountable for what's being posted under the guise of human trafficking. So they're saying we are so concerned about the human trafficking that's happening on these platforms that they are now threatening platforms with repercussions. When Sesta Fosta first came out, again, I have other videos on this, so I'm only going to do a brief little thing. Go get educated. I make this content for a reason. You definitely need to do the work to be a better ally. And I'm fucking tired of repeating myself, little jelly bean. Who is shocked? I'm not. Go watch my other videos about Sesta Fosta. Go listen to other sex workers who have taken the time. Anyway, we have human trafficking bills that are now putting censorship on platforms. Nobody wants to be Mark Zuckerberg dragged in front of the Senate and questioned like an asshole about what's happening, A, on his platform, and B, to answer to a bunch of people that don't even know how the internet works. Our legislators do not know how the internet operates. That has been proven true when they're asking Mark Zuckerberg on if he's determined to stop Finsta. They don't know what's going on, and that's fine. But they are trying to regulate and force capitalism into something that they don't even understand how to use and operate and utilize in the first place. That's fine. My legislators are making anti-human trafficking bills, which are in turn censoring me in the long run. Nothing new, Scooby-Doo. Because no one wants to be Mark Zuckerberg dragged in front of the Senate, we are now building discrimination into our algorithms, and they are conflating the pictures that I post of my ass with sexually explicit and soliciting and harmful content. You have people starting actual coups on Facebook and utilizing it to start hate and spread conspiracy theories. I'm on a 30-day ban on Facebook right now. I could not spend Christmas or the holidays advertising the sales on my fan site. I could not spend it engaging with my community, my friends or my family, because I have a 30-day for posting my ass. It's my work. I model, I do lots of stuff. And the fact that I have to second guess everything from me being in a bikini to me actually posting work content it's all of it's bad. There's no way the algorithm can tell what is what. All of it is soliciting. And every time I get a terms of service violation on any of my profiles, my TikTok, my Twitter, I don't even want to talk about Twitter because I'm so fucking scared. I'm so scared. It's literally the only place that I have been able to not just post full hull, but been able to speak freely and build community. I'm terrified. I'm already halfway down the slope. I don't know what's going to happen when Twitter goes. Not that anyone cares about what happens when Twitter goes, because no one cared about what happened to sex workers when Backpage and Craigslist were seized and when those were closed down. It's aggravating because the general public, there is a moral panic about human trafficking. So you guys see Backpage and Craigslist being closed down as a phenomenal thing. Okay. Alternatively, you have thousands, if not millions, of sex workers and people who utilize that platform to find clients and to pay their bills and to work safely and to work in a way that was appropriate, pulling up to an empty lot. They are literally, when they try to sign on and they see that Backpage has been seized because of new legislation that threatens the owners of that platform. Damn, sex workers were disenfranchised overnight. Full service workers and people who did in-person meet and street work and people who found clients off Craigslist were disenfranchised overnight. To the typical civilian, you're probably thinking, well, what does that mean? That means that as a sex worker, when I can't utilize Craigslist or Backpage to find clients, I'm going to be forced into more riskier situations and more riskier work to find clients. Some of you predator pieces of shit assholes would go, good. It's not good. You're literally costing us our lives. The police don't acknowledge us because of the criminalization around this job and the stigma. The police also hurt us. Not that anyone listens to us or gives a fuck about that. That's why we keep asking for decriminalization instead of these weird Nordic models and these other weird partial criminalization models you guys keep forcing on us. We don't want to be in the vicinity of the police anymore. There is something called the hierarchy, and there is privilege depending on what type of sex work you do. If you're working inside and you're working not on the street, and you're able to work safely out of a brothel, out of your home, out of somewhere enclosed, you are less likely to be exposed to police, ill-intended people, and you're less likely to be harmed. There's privilege with that. Some of us in the community absolutely acknowledge that. Some of us in the community absolutely don't. And there are models that prioritize certain people over others. It's all just so fucked up. So again, when I'm not able to work safely in my home and I'm not able to facilitate online and I can't even advertise my services. You see that cute little setup behind me? You love all of it, don't you? You all want this. You all want to pretend to fucking be this. I can't even advertise the content that I make. It cut out and I'm very upset. But anyway, it's the day after Christmas, and for instance, I'm supposed to be planning my next year. I want to go on tour. I have clients out of state that I want to meet. I have people that I want to see. I have collaborations. I want to do. How are sex workers supposed to collaborate with each other online? Y'all want us to be linking up and meeting and having fucking fun. Some of y'all want to even collab with us. Like, that's how fucking you're so annoying. Y'all are so annoying. How am I supposed to advertise any of that? There's no safe ways for me to be working, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody is talking about it. It's the day after Christmas, and here I am spending time trying to bring attention to the fact that I'm struggling against digital discrimination and deplatforming, because no one is talking about it. No one gives a fuck. I have been tweeting at not only my legislators and my representatives, but at Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok and Tinder and all of these social media platforms for years. Instagram made a PR page a year ago, and its whole comment sections are filled with marginalized groups of people and sex workers asking, why the fuck are you deleting our profiles at this rate? And then crickets. They haven't opened up Instagram's PR page hasn't been active in the last year. It's almost a year. What's the point in having a PR page when you aren't going to address anything that you're doing on it? It's so deeply disturbing to me, and it's because they are deliberately doing it. Not only am I post-blocked on Facebook for advertising the fact that my fan site was on sale for the holidays, online censorship is actually reaching civilians. I can't say man on Facebook anymore. If I say, oh, come on, man, or that sucks, man, or what the fuck, man, it asks me, are you sure you want to post that? Are you sure that's against her? I have had violations put on my account for saying the word man because the algorithm sees it in a context that they find unacceptable. I am now censoring the word man when I post, and sooner or later, let's be real, the algorithm will catch on to that too. It's thought policing me. This is where it gets so sick. It's IP blocking me now. If I move from one Facebook to the other, it is not allowing me to post. The only Facebook that I have access to is the one with my legal name on it. I've been doxxed before by ill-intended people. God, not only that, but it took Messenger away from me for a while. That's like a main way that people communicate. It's punishing me for existing. It's also needless. Of course I ask for appeals. Of course I write, I go on social media and I try to engage with them and I try to do something. It doesn't matter. I'm nobody and they don't listen to me and they don't care. Not only am I nobody and they don't listen to me and they don't care, people talk over me. Not just me, but other sex workers who have been begging for help. People see the things that people don't think that we should be soliciting and that we should be able to work safely in the first place. So why should I be able to utilize or optimize social media? I know that that's wrong. Other people know that that's wrong, but there are genuinely people out there who have an agenda to get rid of sex workers, to make, and it's hard because nobody will ever get rid of anything. Just like you'll never get rid of the homeless under your underpasses. You'll never get rid of the people that are sleeping on your streets. You'll never get rid of the people who are hungry kids. You'll never stop people from being gay. You'll never, like, what the fuck? You can just make it as unsafe as possible and try to deter people from being the most authentic versions of themselves that they can be. And it's fucking working for a lot of us. It's genuinely putting people into the most destitute situations. When I can't work safely online, I will find clients in riskier ways. I will put myself in more unsafe positions. I know you can like clutch your pearls and cry about it, but the same people insisting that I should be able to work safely while not being able to access clients are the same people not listening to me when I'm saying legislation is actively hurting me. I've watched my friends go on trips and their Instagrams get deleted while they're out of town. It all seems so unsafe. It all seems so malicious and devious. I was out to dinner the other night with my partner. It was fine. I was like having a great time. Everything was fine. I was gonna come home and get dick. Like, it was fine. I come home and my Instagram was logged out. I was forcefully logged out. I have trauma responses and mental illness. And when you start adding like mental illness and trauma responses and developmental disabilities onto being violated by things that you can't control, you feel exacerbated. You feel panicked. I mean, I'm shaking even thinking about it. It ruined my whole night. I vomit. I piss, I shit, I cry, it ruins my interpersonal relationships with my friends and family because I will think that I'm going to have some sort of day. I'm gonna have a good day tomorrow. I'm gonna film content. I'm gonna see my friends. I'm gonna like go travel. I'm gonna like have fun. And my TikTok is gone and my Instagram is gone or my Facebook is gone or I don't have access to my community or safe screening practices or and why? 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 Politicians hire us. It's not as easy as just getting another job. A lot of us do this work already because we are in destitute positions and because we need to. I curate all of this. I cultivate all of this. I work very hard. I don't always share like backstories and like all that other shit, but if you know me, you know that I work really hard. There's no reason that I should struggle this hard to maintain it. And there are others that are struggling to maintain less because they don't have the resources. When you get fired from your job, unemployment, your healthcare carries over for a little bit longer. At least you have some sort of social services to help you out. Whorephobia is built into our system. Shelters have curfews to prevent people from working at certain times. Your workplaces have morality clauses against hiring sex workers, which is ironic because there's nothing in those morality clauses about the employees who purchase sex, which we all know is typically white educated men. Whorephobia is built into your system. So when you hear sex workers such as myself and others aching and screaming because we're just in a cycle of absolute abuse, it's bad suggestions from all sides and we're not being heard. We're not being prioritized. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. You have infighting among our community. You have horizontal hate. You have people who use algorithms and certain things to fight with each other and get each other's platforms deleted. It's absolutely like we can't even talk amongst ourselves sometimes. You have talks of workers saying, let's make new platforms. Let's make new platforms. Let's use religious clauses against these people and start making churches. And I sit here sweating because I genuinely think we need, instead of being legislation being stacked against us, we need legislation that centers us. I need lobbyists that center me. I need my politicians to actually be engaging with me in a way that is respectful because I've been addressing them for years and they don't listen and they don't give a fuck. I need unions, right? Because it doesn't matter where sex workers are funneling and how we adapt. I've been adapting for years. For years, I'm tired of adapting. Why don't I deserve like a fulfilling, safe, comfortable life like we all do? And I know we're all hitting like this revolutionary point where we're having conversations with each other about like our livable wage and our benefits. Nobody's listening to sex workers. We are the canaries in the coal mines. Maybe you understand what that means, maybe you don't. But when these politicians get done crushing us and mitigating us under censorship and legislation under the guise of human trafficking, because that's what everyone's losing their fucking minds about right now. Oh, when they get done with us, they're coming for you. The cage will always be big enough for all of us. And if you don't think that's true, you can see in which ways in history that when they get done with some marginalized groups, they move on to the next. Civilians are really genuinely not understanding that sex workers need safe spaces to be operating online. I need to be able to utilize Facebook, Instagram. It's not okay to be discriminating against us. And it's definitely not okay to consistently pretend like you are unaware of to what's going on. H3 Productions had some videos that he posted like over almost a year ago that was flagged by an algorithm. I can no longer say men online. Let's talk about the fact that our judicial and our legal system completely leaves victims out in the cold. So there are absolutely no repercussions or no reason for me to file legal recourse against my abusers. So you have people coming out and utilizing social media to at least raise awareness that so-and-so is unsafe and that they should be held accountable. Those posts are being deleted. You have algorithms that are grooming comment sections for the word man. That is what they're prioritizing when you have people utilizing social media to start coups and genuinely harm other people. Obviously, there was that whole expose about Facebook. I don't even give a fuck about it. Nothing new, Scooby-Doo. I mean, people have been sitting there and talking about that shit was ill-intended and that they don't have our best interests at heart forever. It's literally nothing new. And that's why I get so frustrated is like, I'm tired of these issues that have been going on for years suddenly being made into like cute little Netflix docs or little 60 minutes about how like this shit is evil. Like, no fucking shit. It's been evil. It's been devious. The way that they have turned censorship onto the internet while incorporating capitalism is going to destroy it. I am not that's the hardest part is I'm not a threat. I'm not like I just want to work safely. I want to be able to post content. I want to be able to work safely. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Again, it's the day after Christmas. I should be working or relaxing or just I should be doing anything else but spending time doing this. But who's going to do it for me? The civilians that want to be me so bad? The swerfs that don't fucking give a fuck about me. Nobody's gonna do this for me, and I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of fucking Mark Zuckerberg pretending like he doesn't know what's going on. We sex workers built the internet. Sex workers built the internet. You log on to Reddit and Twitter to see my fat ass, and that's fine. But who's advocating for me? Not my legislators that I tweet at or that I vote for or that I fucking pay out of my taxes, right? Not my community members who leave me out of community discussions. Damn. Like, I don't know what to do about this anymore. I find myself, again, thinking I'm going to have some sort of a day, and then I wake up and it's absolute hell. Absolute hell. And Section 230 is being eaten through. And civilians have no idea because they don't care. I get it. When you are more concerned with like barely feeding yourself and like your alcoholism and like your bad marriages and the fact that I get it. Like capitalism and patriarchy in life keeps us in a cycle of literal abuse, and that's fine. But I'm being conflated with human trafficking. There is a huge conflation between human trafficking and consensual sex work. And I hate saying the word consensual sex work because if you're not doing sex work consensually, it's human trafficking. But semantics with civilians, nuance and semantics with civilians and radical feminists and people who genuinely don't listen to sex workers because we have been having these discussions for decades. I am not the only one that has been like that has. I mean, I'm not the only one, but damn, does anyone listen? No, of course no one fucking listens. It's just so aggravating. Because at the same time, while you all want to be us and look like us, you are letting us die. You let full service workers die when you pass SESTA FOSTA. I'm being incredibly let down by my legislators. I have not a chip to dip in Albany. I have not a chip to dip because I'm a fucking sex worker and my legislators see me as cretin, fucking cretin. All of this at the end of the day blows my fucking mind because I'm struggling. Again, we curate everything we see going up. I curate it. I'm living in like a fucking prison. I'm struggling to work safely online. And I'm struggling to maintain safe working practices to see clients. And that's emboldening nobody but predators at the end of the day. And you have deliberate algorithms that are hacking into my Instagram. If they're hacking into my Instagram and pulling up old archived content to give me flags in terms of service violations right now, if that's what they're doing, what is stopping them from going through my messages The bitches selling yarn and people fucking making food Instagrams aren't having their shit forcefully hacked into. And we can all agree that sex and sexuality is a sensitive subject. They're violating us online. They're testing the waters with sex workers, and everyone's pretending either like they don't know what's going on or they genuinely don't care. So, like, why don't you spend some time internalizing the things that I'm saying to you? Like, why don't you spend some time being like, that's really fucked up. I should call it the whorephobia in my workplace. I should stop perpetuating the whorephobia that goes on around me. Like, I don't know. Why don't you go spend some time tweeting at your legislators or your senators or, like, any of the people that sit there and make my life a living hell? Twitter, Mark Zuckerberg, Instagram, anyone? Do we want to talk about any of it? Like, I tweet at them all the time and I can't get an answer or reply. Bots hit me up. Bots are running around all over fucking social media, but I can't have a place. I'm going to lose my Instagram soon. I have trauma responses to all of this. This exacerbates my mental illness, and I genuinely feel like sometimes I'm living in a South Park episode. I'm being consumed by it, and nobody's listening. And, like, I know even as I spill my heart out through all of this, and I spend the time to struggle to maintain what little piece of my pie that I have, I know that there are still people that will watch this and relish in my pain. And there will people that will watch this and relish in the fact that sex workers don't have medical or benefits or support or legislation that centers them or unions or lobbyists or safe spaces, which should tell you everything about the work that you need to be doing. I feel so incredibly let down because of the hypervisibility of this work since the pandemic. I mean, let's be real. You guys were making fun of us pre-pandemic, and now you're begging us for free advice. And I want to piss my fucking pants. Because none of you are hitting up your legislators, and none of you care about the stigma and the repercussions of actually doing this work at the end of the day. Nobody talks about how when you're deplatformed, you lose all your money, you lose all your following, you lose everything you've cultivated and made. And you wake up every day and you have no idea what's next. What kind of stability is that? What kind of support is that? When you already have the most marginalized and those that need the most support doing this work, what are you saying to them when you are leaving them behind in such a way? And you're telling me that you don't give a fuck about me and that I could die. It feels like shit. I really encourage you to spend some time checking out this article, and I'm going to implore you to check it out specifically because the conflation between human trafficking, sex slavery, and sex work is genuinely killing us. And I'm not going to talk more about it because I'm a white person. I will let more well-spoken people talk about it. But this is the new war on drugs. They're going to start using sex work. They've already started using sex work to disenfranchise and fill prisons. You have the most marginalized at the end of the day doing street work and doing in-person work, and that funds prisons and that keeps people in jail. When you are spending so much time conflating us with human trafficking, you are allowing... I can traffic myself. Does that make any sense to you? If I go see a client across a border, it's the Man's Act, which has very racist roots. We can talk about that later. Maybe you should read this article, right? Read the article that I'm actually fucking trying to get you to read. But anyway... Human trafficking organizations such as Operation Underground Railroad, Polaris Project, Exodus Cry, they line their pockets. They line their physical fucking pockets with the fear and shame and like the moral panic around human trafficking. Most specifically, the way that they push QAnon conspiracy theories. I'm in danger. Like, I'm genuinely in danger. There's nothing protecting me. There's nothing listening to me. There's nothing boosting my voice. Again, I'm not the only one that deals with digital discrimination and deplatforming. Again, HD Production had an algorithm scraping his shit the other day, giving him flags on his account, on his profile for old content that was fucking so old. I'm getting terms of service violations for old archived content that I posted 2 months ago on Instagram. I've had profiles taken that have had no terms of service violations. I just woke up from an app and that shit was gone. And instead of addressing what's in that article, which are very serious allegations and very serious connections and things that are making a little too much fucking sense, instead of addressing any of that, they're just discrediting it because of the title. And they're saying that the title is bad. What about a whole fucking article that's very well written and very long that's talking about how you are using moral panic to line your pockets? And it's working. It's absolutely working. Again, I'm in danger. At the end of the day, all of this feels really incredibly needless. The digital discrimination against sex workers is an act of violence, especially during a pandemic. I want to vomit. I feel so left out. I feel so not heard or not seen. People are dying. People are turning to sex work because they need to. And instead of making it a safer option for the people that need it to be, they're making it more unsafe. And again, I'm in danger. I was on TikTok last night and I saw a video of Doja Cat on live in her lingerie. She was looking so hot. I love Doja Cat, okay? I do love Doja Cat. She was vaping. You know how many TikTok profiles I've lost because of these? Do you know how many TikTok profiles I've lost just by jiggling my thighs and having a link in my bio? Hey, but Doja Cat can be fucking looking so juicy on fucking live. And none of these celebrities are advocating for us. None of these celebrities are saying anything at the end of the day that's helping us. They're not even boosting our content. Like, they're literally just using our aesthetic and our labor to try to be us. And when I bring up civilians looking like us or celebrities looking like us and the way that it contributes to muddling us down and diminishing this work, and you're ruining us. You're really fucking ruining us. Sex workers did not glamorize this work during the pandemic. Civilians did. People who wanted to dip their toes in did. People who wanted to look like us did. And again, sex workers felt like we needed to comply because there's already so much hate against us that if I don't give you some free game, I'm a dumb, stupid, mean whore. And you're going to dox me. And you're going to steal my branding. And you're going to make my life hell anyway. Hey, gatekeeping, right? But we can't have those conversations with civilians because you guys hate us. I'm in such a bad mood. I just want to work safely. Like, I'm just some sweet little hottie from upstate New York. Again, just trying to work safely. I mean, I spend time sitting here wondering if I could take all of the platforms that I've ever lost and all of the followers that I've ever lost and I really put them into one big bucket, I would be quite popular. And it's my popularity that is a huge threat to these social media conglomerates. I'm very pretty and like I'm me. I'm also not like social media's like dig at conventionally attractive. I'm a plus size person. I'm fat. I'm alternative. I'm autistic and mentally ill and a bunch of other things that isn't really fitting the positive. Like, we want to be like, I need to be inspirational and influential. I can't at all be real or a person or vulnerable because my vulnerability has never been rewarded online. None of our vulnerability is. It should be. The fact that I'm sitting here pouring my heart out to you, trying to genuinely get you to understand the severity of the situation of I'm not allowed to exist online. I'm struggling really hard to exist online. People like me are struggling really fucking hard. At the end of the day, no one gives a fuck. It should be rewarded. There should be some sort of progress after all of this time. Right? Because so many of you dipped your little cute toes in over the fucking pandemic. And so many of you wanted to spend time with us and picking our brains. But when I go to detransition, you're not going to hire me because you know what I do for work. There's no solidarity. There's no support. There's nothing. And I'm not going to say that it's fine because it's fine. I say that it's fine because it's the fucking reality that I live in. What's going to change? You can have hard conversations with the people around you. I can only fucking hope. I have filmed this like so many times because I don't even know, right? Like, what do I talk about? Do I talk about Sesta Fosta and Section 230? And do I even talk about my fucking personal experiences? Or do I only talk about my personal experiences? I don't know. So I just sat here and rambled for X amount of time. And I hope you fucking enjoyed it. And I hope that it's in some way that you can internalize this and you can spend some time grooming through my other content and maybe sex workers' other work. And please learn something. Please sign something. Please pass something around. Please just have a hard conversation. Please just like, oh my God, this is so funny. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. I'm literally being bullied by Mark Zuckerberg's robot. I'm literally being bullied by TikTok's bullshit. There have been lawsuits about how discrimination is built into algorithms and they get their money and shit. How am I and other sex workers supposed to open a class action lawsuit when we have no one, our legislators don't even see us as valid. And I don't have representatives. I don't have lobbyists. I have nobody. We have been left out of legislation because of stigma for years. It's only now being talked about because we have actual civilians being like, I gotta do sex work because I can't pay my bills when I work at Jiffy Lube or the Pretzel Maker or Walmart. And politicians are like, is that whoring? I think that might be whoring. I'm mad. I'm in a bad mood. I just got done eating crab and I'm in a bad mood. You see that cat over there? I should be doing anything else besides this. It's going to be a lifelong process of trying to destigmatize this work. And I totally get that. Totally fucking get that. And I understand that all labor is exploited under capitalism. But when you get your fucking hand chopped off at work, at least you have medical. Kind of. Yeah, I know the benefits y'all are getting. But at the end of the day, like, I have nothing. Every time I'm deplatformed, I'm a full service worker. I rolled up to an empty lot with Backpage and Craigslist. That's fine. I had to adapt. I'm consistently adapting. And I'm fucking scared. And they want me to be scared. We talk the hierarchy, right? Hierarchy and privilege and proximity to police. I'm so sorry. And maybe what I'm going to say is like going to really just piss people off. I don't really give a fuck. Suck my fucking dick. Oh my God, I'm literally dying out here. I genuinely feel like they don't want us doing camming and work inside of our homes because I do feel like they're trying to kill us. I do feel like they're genuinely trying to harm us at the end of the day. How could they not be? When there's an option for me to work safely in my home or for people in general to be working safely online and you're taking that away from them and you're forcing them into more precarious situations with men. It's patriarchal violence. They're forcing me into patriarchal violence. I know we're all going to debate on if the patriarchy is real. Is the patriarchy real? Suck my dick. It's 2021. Suck my dick. You're forcing me into violent situations. Why? All I can think of is why is because they're fucking perverse and they're fucked up. So, I don't know. This is me just giving you a little bit of insight into why the fuck I'm constantly unwell. I know there's going to be comments. What can I do? Call it whorephobia. Hit up your representatives. Why don't you go sign that bill that's literally in my bio about the decriminalization bill for New York State? Why don't you hit up your own representatives for your own state to be talking about decriminalization? Other sex workers, if you are engaging with this or lurking or doing whatever, be loud. Talk about what is going on with you. Here's my perspective. I'm losing platforms all the fucking time. It's going to keep happening. It doesn't matter if I'm showing my fucking ass or if I'm just simply commenting something silly. It doesn't fucking matter. They're going to completely annihilate me anyway, just like they're going to completely annihilate you. Hop on there and talk about the digital discrimination. Talk about the deplatforming. At least when I'm literally putting deplatforming digital discrimination is an act of violence in my fucking bios, like, at least I'm screenshotting that shit, and someday I feel like I will have a chip to dip and I can take that somewhere. If anyone is interested in, I don't know, maybe like funding a class action lawsuit or funding some bullshit where we can get lobbyists or just in general looking to annihilate Silicon Valley, hit me up. I'm around. I would love to talk. Yeah, I don't know, do more. Also, last thing. Read that fucking article. Read that article and share it. Operation Underground Railroad doesn't want that anywhere. It's very valuable, and I'm really happy to see someone taking the time to Connect those dots. Support your favorite sex worker. Do better. Be a better ally. Subscribe. Share some videos. Go check out my other social medias. Stop. I don't know. Love you. Bye.